right. Well, so welcome once again, everybody. My name is Brian Bliss, as you know, and let's begin just by finding a comfortable position to either sit in or lie down, or you could do this standing. Just finding a comfortable, supportive position from which you can establish a base of some comfort and solidity for a while. Anything that would be supportive to you in terms of feeling like your posture is both upright as well as easeful as much as possible. There can be something quite uplifting about sitting comfortably upright. No need to be rigid, but just feeling into the spine, feeling into the parts of the body that are in contact with the seat or the floor, perhaps feeling the feet, heels, the backs of the legs, the thighs, the buttocks, the back, whatever it is that it's in contact with the surface you're on, and just noticing the way in which you're being held up. Not a lot of effort required to do this. Just allowing gravity to draw you toward the earth. I'm bringing attention now to the fact that you're breathing. Noticing the air as it comes into the body and flows out of the body. You might be picking up sensations of breathing most vividly at the nose if you're breathing in through your nose, perhaps the tip of the nose, the nostrils, perhaps the back of the throat, down into the chest. You might notice that the chest expands as you breathe in, the ribs expand, and as you breathe out, they contract. And if you're hearing hopefully little bangs and little screams upstairs, that would be my children. Hopefully it won't be too distracting. Perhaps you're noticing the breath in the belly, noticing perhaps that as the breath comes in and the abdomen expands, as the breath moves out, the abdomen sinks back toward the spine a bit. Just perhaps noticing an overall sense of the breath as it is moving throughout this process. The breath, as you know, is always a potential anchor for your awareness while doing a formal practice like a sitting practice. And of course, the breath is also the gift that keeps on giving as long as we're alive, always accessible, and always present. It's really impossible to take a breath in the future as such. Whenever you notice a breath, it's automatically now. And also recognizing that the breath might not be the easiest place to stabilize attention. If that's the case, you can stick with the sensations of the body in contact with the surface it's on. Or perhaps you may wish to choose another object to anchor your awareness. And we'll go through a couple of them to see some explorations here. You may notice, in addition to the sense of the body being held up and the breath, you might also notice the field of sensations as a whole, whatever they might be. You might be noticing sensations of comfort and ease. You might be noticing sensations that are less pleasant. Just allowing the field of sensations to come to the foreground in your awareness. Noticing, perhaps in particular, if you'd like to briefly scan through the body for sensations, that can be an enjoyable way to do this. You might notice sensations in the feet, the bottoms and tops of the feet, the ankles, and expanding to include the lower legs, the shins in the front, and the calves in the back. And moving up now to the knees, the kneecaps, and the backs of the knees, the sides, and deep into the knee joints themselves. And allowing attention now to move to the upper legs, the thighs. From the knee all the way up to where the thighs join up with the hips, all the way up to the hip joint. And expanding now to include the hips themselves and the rest of the pelvic area, bones, organs, whatever might be detectable here. Noticing any sensations that you might be able to pick up in the belly, perhaps once again breathing, or perhaps something else like sensations of digestion or of hunger, whatever might be here. And as we go through these areas, it's of course entirely possible there might be an area that we encounter where no sensations are detectable, and that happens, and that's a-okay. Just noticing whatever is here. Drawing attention now to sensations in the lower back. Sometimes this is an area that can hold excess tension, if that's the case. Perhaps inviting a softening or release of that tension if you encounter any in this area. Moving attention now up to the center part of the torso, the front solar plexus area, and the back, the middle part of the back. And moving up now to include the upper part of the torso, the chest and the upper back. Noticing sensations in the shoulders and in the upper arms, the armpits, the elbows, forearms, the wrists, and the hands, backs, palms, fingers and thumbs, and drawing attention once again all the way up the arms and to the shoulders. And here too, the shoulders are an area that can be a place where tension accumulates. If you find that to be the case for you, perhaps just inviting a sense of softening a little bit, of release here. And moving now up into the neck, noticing sensations in the back of the neck, the front of the neck and throat. Perhaps noticing air as it is coming in and out through the throat. And drawing attention up into the head, the back of the head, the top of the head, the sides, the forehead, the eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, the temples, and the ears, the outer parts of the ears, the inner ears. Coming to the eyes, eyelids and lashes, the eyes themselves resting in their sockets. Noticing sensations in the cheeks and in the jaw. Noticing that hinge region of the jaw. Perhaps inviting a little sense of softening here. Noticing the chin, the lips, the teeth, and the gums, the roof and floor of the mouth, and the tongue. Inviting a sense of the interior of the head space, right in the center of the head. Noticing as well sensations in the nose, the bridge of the nose, the sides, the nostrils. Perhaps noticing breath here once again. And expanding this awareness of sensations now to include an awareness of the body as a whole. The head and neck, shoulders, the arms and hands, the torso, pelvis, the legs, upper legs, knees, lower legs, ankles, and feet, all the way out to the toes. Noticing the field of bodily sensations from the tip of the head out to the toes, fingertips, an overall sense of what it's like to be in this body at this time. And bringing attention now to sounds, the sounds of my voice, the sounds in the room that you're in, perhaps sounds outside of the room that you're in, elsewhere in the building or outside. Perhaps the sound of your own breathing. And seeing if it's possible to receive sound as it arrives in your ears as purely a physical phenomenon, not so much a story about what the sounds are or what they mean or whether you like them or don't like them. Seeing if it's possible to allow sound itself to be the focus of your awareness, just as pure sound. Noticing the pitch of sounds, how high or low they are, how long they last, the duration of a sound, how loud or soft it might be. And of course, noticing as well as we do this practice, thoughts as they come and go in the mind. And rather than seeing thoughts as a distraction, it's always possible to engage in the process of being aware of thinking itself as an anchor for the attention. Just noticing thoughts as well as they come into the field of your awareness and linger for a little bit, and as they fade or retreat into the background. Inviting a sense of looseness with regard to the thinking process. Oh, it's a sound. Oh, it's a thought. It's a sensation. All of these phenomena come and go, and we are the witnesses of these events, and also the participants in them. We experience these events, and we get to frame our way of relating to them in a way that's helpful to us. So someone has said that all of our thoughts are real and only some of them are true. As you notice the train of thoughts coming through, it's not necessary to hop on the train. You can if you'd like. I'm bringing awareness in particular to any judgmental or critical thoughts that might be arising throughout this practice. And seeing if it's possible to bring a sense of friendliness and clarity to this process. Seeing a thought just like a sound or sensation or the breath, it's just another event, another thing that's here for a little bit and will go. And if at any time in doing this practice it becomes too distracting to think, to be aware of thoughts, you can always return to something else that we've explored, like sounds or bodily sensations or breath, or the body itself as it's in contact with the surface it's on. Anything that can be supportive to maintaining a sense of ease and comfort. And becoming aware as well of events in your emotional field, any feeling tones that you might be experiencing. Noticing the contents of the heart. Tuning in to your own heart. Aware that just as with thoughts and sounds and sensations and the breath, emotions come stay for a while and go also. Sometimes people speak about a stream of consciousness. And in a way, it's a very apt metaphor. These events do seem to flow in, linger, and flow on. And just doing our best to allow these things to happen. Without trying to push them away, without trying to grab at them. They're just flowing. Noticing what's real in your experience. All of these options are ways to stabilize attention. They're all awareness practices. And it may be helpful at this time to choose one of these anchors that we've explored, perhaps something else that we haven't explored. Thoughts and emotions, sounds, bodily sensations, breath, points where the body contacts the earth in some fashion, the surface it's on. You could choose one of these anchors for your awareness. And just notice what happens. And if at any time you find yourself thinking, oh, I'm not present, as soon as you notice that you are present, you're already back, so to speak. Always having the ability to return to your chosen object with a sense of kindness and curiosity. Recognizing when the mind has chosen to explore something else and releasing attention from that other object and returning to the anchor that you've chosen. Recognizing, releasing, and returning. you may find as well in doing this that you might encounter a sense of whether you find things to be pleasant or unpleasant, or perhaps a mix or a neutral, not much going on. I'm just noticing those preferences and allowing them to be as they are. Much of the time we are going through our lives not noticing what's happening. And this practice just allows us to sharpen the skills of our awareness on something that we've chosen. Being with what is. Noticing what's true for you in this moment. Many of us, for one reason or another, have come up with stories that we tell ourselves about our experiences that aren't particularly helpful. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. Much of the time, our self-talk has a kind of negative flavor to it for many of us. This is completely normal. In fact, it's a natural function of our brains to have this negativity bias. It can be very liberating to discover that it's not just us, it's everybody. And so this practice is about very specifically cultivating a sense of friendliness and kindness toward ourselves. Whatever the experience might be. And as you rest your attention in this anchor that you've chosen, also being aware of the way in which you're relating to that object of focus. Is it a helpful way? If so, keep working with that. And if you find that it's unhelpful in some fashion, you can always just choose a different way of approaching it. There are no grades. Your own approach is yours. to choose. And if you'd like, you can continue to work with an anchor that you've chosen. Whether that's thoughts and emotions or sounds, bodily sensations, breath, contact points of the body with the surface it's on, or something else that I haven't mentioned. And another possibility is to expand the awareness to include anything that arises in your experience, a more of an open presence, or what is sometimes called choiceless awareness. No need to do anything about anything, just noticing whatever arises, whatever is most prominent and distinct in the field of your awareness, moment by moment. Whatever is here can be the object of your meditation. And you always have the choice of returning to an anchor if that is more supportive to you. Your own wisdom, your own discernment can govern how you approach your practice. You are the expert. Exploring the rich texture of experience. And if you've chosen this kind of choiceless awareness approach, and if you find that doing so is not supportive to stabilizing your attention, then you can always choose one of these other options that we have been exploring, or one of your own. Just allowing that to be what the mind comes back to. Always returning with a sense of kindness, friendliness towards yourself and your experience. And of course, noticing when that doesn't happen and trying to be kind about that as well. to meditate, to turn the attention inward, is a bold thing to do. It is, in a way, always a kind of adventure, a heroic journey of exploring what's really here. Especially knowing that what we find isn't always pleasant. It just is what it is. And we have the opportunity really to allow it to be just as it is. And to not have to do anything about it. To not run away. To not distract. To be fully present with experience is extremely courageous. And of course, it's always possible to become overwhelmed in a practice. And if this happens, there's always the opportunity to return to something that you do find very supportive. That might include opening the eyes, it might include adjusting the posture. An adventure, yes. It can be one that's also comfortable. Noticing experiences as they arise, remain in awareness, and as they transition or fade, become something else. And just in the same way that our lives unfold, we're born, we live, we pass on, and every experience has this quality too. Every thought, every sensation, every emotion, every breath. Arises, stays for a while, and then changes, or fades, goes away. And we're privileged to be the witnesses of all this, and also the participants, to be deeply immersed in this experience. Always cultivating kindness toward ourselves throughout the process. I'd like to invite you now to choose a particular form of kindness, sometimes called loving kindness meditation or metta meditation. The invitation here is to, I'm going to offer you some phrases. The invitation is to repeat the phrases that I offer you silently to yourself. And if the language doesn't appeal to you, you can modify it, make it your own. The idea is simply to find ways to actively cultivate this friendliness and kindness toward yourself and to others as well. So beginning with yourself, I'll offer you a phrase and I'll repeat it. The first one is, may I be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May I be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May I be as healthy as possible right now. May I be as healthy as possible right now. May I be at peace. May I be at peace. May I live with kindness and ease. May I live with kindness and ease. And expanding this sense of kindness to another person. Choosing someone or someones that you love. May they be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May they be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May they be as healthy as possible right now. May they be as healthy as possible right now. May they be at peace. May they be at peace. And may they live with kindness and ease. May they live with kindness and ease. And expanding this to include someone who is kind of neutral to you, someone who you might see from time to time, don't have any particularly strong feelings about one way or the other. Just calling to mind someone who might meet this description. Might be somebody who delivers your mail or someone at the store, anyone really, someone's neutral, and calling them to mind and extending these wishes to them as well. May they be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May they be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. And may they be as healthy as possible right now. May they be as healthy as possible right now. And may they be at peace. May they be at peace. And may they live with kindness and ease. May they live with kindness and ease. And let's expand this to include someone who maybe you don't care for so much. Maybe not super strong feelings of antipathy toward this person, but just, someone I don't care for that much. Thinking of somebody like this and offering these same phrases to them. May they be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May they be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May they be as healthy as possible right now. May they be as healthy as possible right now. And may they be at peace. May they be at peace. And may they live with kindness and ease. May they live with kindness and ease. And expanding this, if you like, as widely as you wish. It could include all beings, it could include even the planet, all the creatures. I'll just say, may we all be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May we all be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. And may we all be as healthy as possible right now. May we be as healthy as possible right now. And may we be at peace. May we all be at peace. And may we all live with kindness and ease. May we all live with kindness and ease. May it be so. And in a moment, we'll transition out of this practice, just checking in with where you are right now. Noticing thoughts and sensations, emotions, what's true for you in this moment. And as you're ready, if your eyes are closed, allowing the eyes gently to open. Keeping the gaze soft, perhaps at first, just taking in your surroundings. Noticing what's here. And as you're ready, coming back to our virtual room. Here we are. Well, it's 5 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for being here.